Robin and Laura here from nzpocketguide.com, and today we are starting in the beautiful Taihape, the gumboot capital of New Zealand, showing you some of the awesome things to do on the way between Taupo and Wellington. It's a long drive, so let's break it up with a few exciting activities.
Alright, we'll head in the car though because it's way too noisy here. Alright everybody, it looks like we are away from the wind now, and let's begin. Laura, what is the first item on our list?
Okay, number one on our list is located in Waiaru, which is the Waiaru Army Museum. So Waiaru is actually the main base for the New Zealand Army, and so naturally there is a museum there, so you can go and learn about the various different histories of battles and wars that New Zealand have been involved in. Even if you're not really into the subject matter, it's a really interesting museum to check out. The exhibitions are really vivid. There's a lot of tanks that you can actually touch outside and stuff, whereas the ones inside they ask you to not touch. But there's a lot of cool equipment to have a look at, and it's just a really good easy stop on the main highway, State Highway 1, between Taupo and Wellington.
Alright, so continuing going south, we have the small town of Taihape where we started our video this morning. So Taihape is the town that has a claim of fame, and the claim of fame is being the gumboot capital of New Zealand. Gumboot are basically like rubber rainy boots, kind of like the New Zealand way is to say that. So that's why we started in front of a far you can throw it, but there is also a really short yet fun walk at the Mount Stewart Reserve, which will get you to get a little bit of height. I'd say, what do you think, Laura, about 30-minute walk at most?
I'd say more like 20. Yeah, it's very quick, like that's 20 minutes there and back.
Okay, yeah.
But so you might want to spend some time up. There's like an elevated viewpoint where you can sort of get up on top and have a look from the viewpoint there.
Indeed. Alright, Laura, what's next on our list?
Next up we have something that's located just outside of Taihape, or just outside of Manawatu, and that is the White Cliff Boulders. So this is a little bit of a drive off the road, down a gravel road, so you need to just double check with your car rental company whether that's included in your insurance policy or not, but this is a really cool side trip to go see some amazing natural attractions that are very underrated, and it takes you deep into sort of a really mossy covered forest where there are these spherical boulders that are covered in moss and just look like something out of a fairy tale. So that's a really cool side trip to do. It does take a little bit of time out of your drive, so if you basically if you start really early and you want to do an actual main activity on the way down, then that would be a really good one to do.
So I will say do it because it's one of my favorite things on the way, so yeah. You know, it's worth the extra time. Speaking of something that doesn't need any extra time, the Manawatu Gorge. So the Manawatu Gorge offers a lot of different hikes, like literally I'd say at least a dozen different walks and hikes, and it's almost right off the road, which is quite impressive, almost like under the road in fact, where there's some kind of bridges and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's plenty of different walks. You can do some 10 minutes walk, or you can do like a 3-hour walk if you want to. It's a great way to stretch your legs, and yeah, it will take you deep into some amazing New Zealand forests. And yeah, unlike the Mount Stewart Reserve that I was talking about, which is a little bit less New Zealand forest, this is like the thick New Zealand forest. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. And they also have that huge Maori sculpture made out of metal, which is really cool to go check out inside the Manawatu Gorge as well.
Yep.
Okay, next up on the list we have a stop which is within Palmerston North itself. This is off the main State Highway 1, but if you do take the way down to Palmerston North, it doesn't take too much time off the journey, so it's definitely worth checking out that town. And within that town there's an attraction called the Wild Base Recovery. So here you'll find it's like a native bird wildlife hospital, so it's a way to sort of see some of New Zealand's native wildlife, but up close while they're sort of in rehabilitation and before they're being re-released back into the wild. So it's a really cool, neat attraction that won't take too much time out of your day.
Alright, so sticking with Palmerston North, if you end up driving on a rainy day and you need something to do inside to keep the kids busy along the way, you definitely can go to the couple of museums that Palmerston North has to offer, the Te Manawa Museum as well as the Rugby Museum. One of the highlights is very often the Rugby Museum, which is a relatively small museum, so perfect for a pit stop along your road trip. And in there is a lot of interactive kind of activities to do, where you can test your strength in scrum as well as kicks and those kind of things, which is a lot of fun. It's just a great way to blow off some steam while on the roads between Taupo and Wellington.
Alright, next up we have the town of Buxton. So you will pass through this town as you are travelling on the main state highway, which is State Highway 1. And what you'll see, just if you go into the town itself, is they have a giant windmill right there in the middle, which is quite unusual in New Zealand. But very aptly, at the bottom of the windmill is a Dutch store, so you could go pick up some Dutch baked goods and things like that. So it's a little bit of a weird one, but that's something if you're interested and you want a good photo opportunity of a windmill in New Zealand, then that would be the place to do it. So that's in Buxton.
More importantly, you may want the snack. You may want the food of it.
You may want to try some nice treats as well. Yeah.
Alright, Laura, do you mind doing the next one, please?
Okay.
Just make sure we're driving safe.
Sure. So next up we have the town of Waikanae, which is in the Kapiti Coast, just as you're getting closer to Wellington. And there we have the Namanu Nature Reserve. So this is a place where it does have an entry fee. It's around 20 New Zealand dollars per adult. Obviously prices can change, so that's what it is at the time of filming. But yeah, this is a really cool way to go bird watching in a sort of open natural space. There's a few bushwalks to do there, and at certain times of the day they also do sort of like feeding sort of demos, where it's another way to see the birds coming up close. I know that they do have kiwi birds there as well, but it's perhaps more because they are nocturnal. It's perhaps something
they're quite elusive, aren't they, those birds?
It will probably be harder to see more if you're just doing the bushwalks there, but I do know that they do sort of night tours there as well. So yeah, it's just a really nice nature reserve where you can check out like it's a more sort of like nature bushwalk way of checking out some of the wildlife that is available in New Zealand. So that's a really cool one to do in Waikanae.
So speaking of going into nature, the next item on our list is Queen Elizabeth Park. So Queen Elizabeth Park is actually relatively close to Wellington. So we're going for this list. We're going north to south, right? So we're making our way down the road, and right now we're reaching almost the outer suburbs of Wellington. Now, Queen Elizabeth Park offers a plethora of different walks in there. There is really a lot of different options, from short to long walks, and yeah, you'll be able to see amazing sand dunes, great views of Kapiti Island, which is a really large island off the shore, not too far from Wellington, which is Kapiti Island is a bird paradise. It's quite awesome, and yeah, plenty of driftwood, great sand dunes, different vegetation that you will find in many other places in New Zealand. Really often you have like thick, dense kind of New Zealand bush. Well, that's more like open. You get to see all the sand dunes. You get to see like all the flags coming out of the dune and everything. So it's quite a different and striking different kind of New Zealand landscapes.
Absolutely. So finally on our list, the final thing that you can do on the way between Taupo and Wellington is check out the Paikakariki Lookout. So this is just a short road that is just off the main highway called the Paikakariki Hill Road. You just basically drive up to a viewpoint and get a really cool photo opportunity of the beaches along the Kapiti Coast as well as Kapiti Island itself. So this is a really cool, just a quick side of the road stop, get some really awesome photos, and then you're nearly on your way to Wellington. So yeah, that's 10 things that you could do between Taupo and Wellington.
just as the sun come out behind us.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right.
Beautiful sunrise.
Everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, check out the channel. We get plenty of videos to help you out. And if you're planning a trip to New Zealand, check out nzpocketguide.com. It's your largest travel guide to New Zealand. Bye-bye.
Bye.